Hi everybody, Shannon Petrovich with Therapist Talks. Adult child of a narcissist or set up to hook up with narcissists. Narcissists are poorly equipped to be parents, and the results of having grown up with a parent with NPD can leave scars causing lifelong struggles with perfectionism, anxiety, depression, the inability to adult, and relationship dysfunction, including getting into relationships with other narcissists, confusion over what is and isn't love, and how to create and hold healthy boundaries. Let's unpack the early childhood experiences of a child with a parent with NPD, and then we'll look at how those experiences create a roadmap for life that is deeply flawed and guides you off many cliffs and into many deep, dark caves. In my client population over the past 30 years, I've known just as many adults who grew up with mothers with NPD as fathers. The mothers generally tend to be more covert and the fathers more overt, but they exhibit equal amounts of rage, and they create equal amounts of confusion and pain. In many ways, the mothers exact more painful damage to the budding sense of self for girls, while fathers with NPD do more damage to their son's sense of self. At the same time, mothers with NPD often engage their sons as surrogate spouses, and fathers often dote on their daughters to the exclusion of the rest of the family. Each of these dynamics also carries with it immense steamer trunks worth of baggage. Here are the 9 traits of narcissism and how they play out into adulthood. Number 1, because of their grandiose sense of self-importance, their tendency to exaggerate their achievements, talents, and even expect to be recognized as superior without commensurate achievements, the home with an NPD parent often revolves around achievement. Some NPD parents will only pay attention to a child when they have earned a medal, a ribbon, or some other award. A child in this setting either learns to seek achievement at the cost of all else, or they give up entirely. While being goal-directed can be healthy on some level, the complete starvation for attention and affection other than when achieving makes this seeking very unhealthy and desperate. I've known clients who are in lifelong pursuits of perfection that nearly kills them with their workaholism. When they make a mistake of any sort, they punish themselves and berate themselves mercilessly. The children who decide early on that they could not measure up, give up. They gave up on all pursuits, any effort of any kind. They do their homework but don't turn it in. They have lots of potential but can't move forward into any endeavor. And they often decide that a life in the shadows is easier to manage than trying to compete in this highly competitive family. They give up all their passions, gifts, talents, and any potential they might have had. Often people identify these 2 different manifestations as the golden child and the scapegoat child. I prefer to look at what has gone on underneath the surface to drive these outward actions. Basically, these are 2 different defenses against the same underlying pain. Number 2, because the narcissist is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love, the child lives in a world of unrealistic expectations, delusions of many flavors, and superficiality that is beyond imagining. For many, this leads to making all efforts towards glorifying that NPD parent, looking up to them with rose-colored glasses, adoring them, hanging on their every word, and hanging on any breadcrumbs of affection or attention that might fall their way. While for others, they will see through and reject everything the parent is and stands for and cares about. And they will take the opposite approach to life from that parent, the opposite politics, the opposite attitudes on anything and everything, to express complete rejection of that parent and their superficial pursuits. These again may be called the golden and the scapegoat child, but the hurt underneath is the same. The child is praised if they glorify the parent and shamed if they don't go along with the delusions and superficial values. The scapegoat often is the truth teller in the family and will tell anyone who will listen how fake everyone is in their family. If they can get with a therapist or coach or mentor of some kind, they can rekindle their passions and find direction in their lives, away from the grandiose world. If not, they're usually busy trying to show everyone how not perfect their family is, simply by completely not adulting. The golden child will often get caught up in the delusions and pursue these perfections as far as they can. They will suffer early heart attacks, anxiety, depression, even suicidal ideation. We often see them as the young person who gets overwhelmed in college when they can no longer get all A's. Number 3, Because the NPD parent believes that they are special and unique and can only be understood by or should only associate with other special or high status people, the child feels they don't matter, and they often feel they're a burden or in the way. These parents have little or no interest in their kids except when they can glorify them, make achievements for them, or in any other way shine a light on them. Since they're primarily annoyed by any effort they might have to make for the child, their actions and attitudes tell the child they are too much, too needy, too messy, make too many mistakes. Anything and everything children do as children is shamed, and the child internalizes deep shame as a result. Many adult children of NPD parents have lifelong feelings of inadequacy. They can't see themselves clearly for their gifts or wonderful character qualities, since they're continuously grading themselves based on these grandiose delusions and finding themselves inferior. As an adult, you might berate yourself for small mistakes and feel like a burden for simply existing and being human. Number 4, since the NPD parent requires excessive admiration, the child of such a parent learns to live on the leftover breadcrumbs of attention available in this family. The parent will often literally not notice even basic physical, emotional, or intellectual needs of the child unless they want that child right then as an accessory to an outfit or to show them off in some way. The child lives in a state of low-grade emotional and perhaps even physical and intellectual starvation. This is confusing as there is often abundance in their home and community. The way a child internalizes this is to tell themselves they are not important, they don't matter, and they gradually convince themselves that they don't need anything or anyone. Over time, they learn to pay attention to others' needs, wants, and they become so other-focused, they lose awareness of their own emotions, their own needs, and even their interests, activities, gifts, and passions. During adolescence, they'll be prone to falling for somebody who pays them only half attention or gives them a bit of praise. Since they learn to live on breadcrumbs from these self-obsessed parents, they will accept breadcrumbs from others and feel grateful for them. As an adult, they are set up to be a great caretaker of another narcissist and to not even know who they are, what they're about, what they love, or what they want or need. For many, when they leave an abusive relationship, the emptiness is so profound they feel as if they've fallen off a continual cliff and they can't find anything to grasp onto. Many, sadly, will run back into the relationship to find some sense of self. The second part of this discussion will be out in a few days, so if you haven't subscribed already, please do so and hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified when the other half is posted. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you again soon.